their GCSE results. But with the pass rate falling for the second year in a row, many won't have got the grades that they were hoping for.
Well, we've got two guests with us today who want to explain why success in life isn't based just on getting A grades.
Absolutely that. Dave Fishwick is here after leaving school with no qualifications. He set up his own bank and is now the topic of a hit Netflix film. And Duncan Bannatyne might have failed all of his GCSEs, but today he joins us live from his incredible home in the south of France. So first of all, let's speak to Dave. Do you remember that feeling when you open that envelope and I suppose you're all geared up for something, There's that doubt in your mind and it doesn't always go the way that you were hoping for?
Well, no, I don't, because I didn't take any exams.
Did you not? None at all?
None at all. What I did the year before, my father got me a job on a building site as a summer job for 5 weeks, and the builder, Frank Byrne, Builders, Plasterers and Slaters in Nelson...
Great title.
Absolutely. Says what it does on the tin. He said to me at the end of the 5-week holiday, I'll give you a job when you leave school, lad, you've worked hard. So I thought, I don't need qualifications. So straight from school, no qualifications, onto a building site. How'd you go from builder's apprentice to building the first new High Street bank and then Hollywood turn up?
Yes.
If I can, anybody can.
OK. Duncan, what was your experience at that age?
Well, like David, I didn't take my GCSEs either. There was no point because I was getting such low marks at exams, there's no point taking them. So I left school straight away, and as quick as I could, I joined the Royal Navy, and I spent 5 years in the Royal Navy. It was a few years later that I realised that there was something I was good at, and that was numbers, and I decided to start in business on my own. And the business developed. I had an ice cream business, which became an ice cream and cafe business, which we built up, and then I started building homes for the elderly. And I worked at the stock exchange 5 years later, and 10 years later sold it for 52 million.
Wow.
So life changed very dramatically then.
Yeah,
absolutely. I can only imagine. What would you say, you know, as I said before, that wasn't the case for you? It also wasn't the case for me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get the grades. And, you know, I've gone on to have a career since. But I think it seems now more than ever, and I'm not sure if there's a sort of thing as well post-COVID, that the pressure seems to be really, really immense on young people. And my brain instantly goes to worrying about young people and their mental health.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you feel like, I don't know, you're letting your family down or you've worked so hard and you're super disappointed in the grades that you've got today, what would you say? What would you say?
Well, I'd say, look, self-belief, common sense, decency, honesty, ethics and communication skills are far more important than qualifications. We need people with qualifications to be surgeons and doctors, so there's no doubt about that. But not everybody gets them opportunities. However, if you can go back to where I was at 17, 18, I wasn't going to get the chance to go to a university. But I do have some views on that, because at university and colleges and things, you've got business teachers teaching business. Kids are signing up for tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt to be able to go to these sorts of places and universities. And you've got business teachers who are teaching business, who've never actually run a business. So you think to yourself, you know, it's like getting in an aeroplane with somebody that's read all the books, watched all the DVDs, but never actually took off. So I say, get stuck in.
Yeah. I can imagine. Duncan, statistics released yesterday suggest that teenagers lose hope of landing their dream job at the age of 16, which is so upsetting.
That's wild.
To reassure those people, when you look, you've got various businesses run by, I'm sure, great, you know, chief operating officers, etc., etc. Are you always looking at their qualifications first, or do you look at the person first?
No, I look at the person first, and most of my team are on the board and close to the board members have all come up through the company and been promoted through the company and learned through the company. So there is nobody who can come in with great qualifications and get a job because they think they're somewhere better at doing that job because they don't have the life experience and the experience in the actual company.
I mean, I agree with Duncan with there, because I've employed hundreds of people over the years. I've 6 businesses here and in America. And I've never, ever, ever asked anybody, whether it be in the banking business or in my minibus business. I've never asked anybody, what qualification did you get or what grades did you get?
That's crazy, isn't it?
I've asked them, what can you do to help. You know, what can you bring to the party? That's far more important than what they did at school 25 years ago.
And also, I think, Duncan, would you agree? It's the element of work ethic too, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's very, very important, and some people just don't have it. And you know, sometimes I haven't interviewed for a while now, but people would come for interviews, and I asked them what knew about the job they were applying for, and some of them knew absolutely nothing. They'd done no homework. They expected to be shown around and given the full details. And others had done the research on what the job was like and what they were like. And so the ones who knew what they were coming into and knew the company were the ones who got the job.
David, go on.
A tip I've got for you is, you know, a lot of people are texting people across the table. They're emailing people across the room. Put the emailing down, put the texting down. Get yourself a telephone, pick it up, ring up, ask for a meeting, or go out there, knock on doors, get yourself a job. Go and work for somebody you admire. Find a job that you're passionate about. What you want to do is, if you're in a room full of people, in a classroom or in at work, look round at the people in that room that you admire and write down the qualities of those people that you admire. Maybe they come to work early, maybe they're a team player, maybe they stay last, maybe they're there to help. And then look round the room at people you don't admire. Okay. Look down at that list. Maybe they're last in, first out the door, don't want to help, take all the credit. And make sure that you take more of the qualities of the people you admire. Go and work for somebody you admire, something that you're really passionite about.
Exactly. Duncan, you're nodding. You're absolutely agreeing with what Dave's
absolutely,
saying.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm totally behind Dave. Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose it's being persistent, isn't it? It's not taking no for an answer, which also, for a lot of people, is quite hard because that does take quite a level of confidence to knock down doors, to sort of almost be a pest.
Yeah,
right?
I always used to say to people, hustle, don't hassle.
Yes.
That was my line. So hustle, be a hustler. Do you know what? You don't, you know, you've got to try. Give it a go. You never know what, you know, my first ever job in television, you know, I wrote to somebody and wrote back again.
Yeah.
And got the job. You know, you just have to persevere.
Yes.
And actually nowadays, and I'm sure very much in the corporate world that you both work in, people talk about soft skills, about being a good person, a good worker. It's not just about being a mathematician and doing everything perfectly to the letter.
Confidence, you know, that is a huge thing. Self-belief, you know. And the rule number 3 and rule number 4, the most important rules in life. Rule number 3 is never give up. And rule number 4, the biggest one of all, is never, ever give up. It's hard. There's lots of influencers on the television, on TikTok, everywhere saying, you can do it in a week and they're pouring champagne into the sea. You know, let me tell you, that doesn't work. You know, 35 years of work has put me where I am today. Hard work will put you where some good luck can find you. There is no easy way. You work hard, you set yourself some goals, you work towards them, you get up every day, and you never, ever give up.
Yeah, and that is those personal skills that you can't buy or you can't teach, right? It's those skills that you know, I have a business and people that I look for are people that I can trust with my life. And yes, they're great and they're brilliant, but if they had all of that on paper and I didn't feel like I could trust them or, you know, around everybody, that's crucial to me.
And Duncan, do you lead by example? I mean, I know you're in south of France right now, but when you are at work, you're not the last. Even now, I'm sure you're not the last in and the first out.
Absolutely, yes. But, you know, when I did work on the shop floor with my team, it was very different. So now I just do flying visits and I'm very much hands-off. When I did work, yes, I did. And you know, we've actually been able in the company to train people who had no qualifications into higher and higher jobs. And so those are the ones that work out.
Yeah. I mean,
apprenticeships. Yeah, I was going to say very quickly.
That's a big one, apprenticeships. I started off life as an apprenticeship. It's a real skills thing. You go for an apprenticeship and then want to work for yourself and then move forward. Never, ever give up.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope that gives you some inspiration this morning because, you know, it can be really hard for a lot of people. And congratulations. If you've got what you wanted,
yeah,
we're so happy for you.
Well done.
Well done.
But if you haven't, the world is still your oyster. Don't let that sort of knock
Not going
you.
to university didn't stop us two.
Yeah, us four.
Us
four, blimey, exactly. Yeah, there we go.
None of us have got a qualification between us.
Exactly, all four of us.
Exactly.
Duncan, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Dave, thank you very much as well.